Where the fuck is McClay? And then if you could just do that to that camera, it's kind of a thing we do here.
Oh, okay, sweet. All right.
Or just like
It's me.
All right. Action.
Awesome. This is the Bogcast, episode 84. I'm your host, Keith Obit, joined with my co-host, Brian McClay. We are brought to you by Bang Salon. Come get all your hair needs, including cuts, natural colors, vivid colors, extensions, shampoo and stylings, all under one roof at Bang Salon. Find and message Bang Salon on Instagram at Bang Salon, at BANGDSALON. Use promo code
Bogcast
for 20% off your first visit. So come on down and get banged by Jordan. But if you really try to bang her, I'll fucking kill you. Cool.
All right. Check us out on Spotify, on Google Play, all your favorite podcatchers. Of course, on iTunes. Leave a message on our live feeds or on our feeds, all that stuff. Let us know how we're doing and subscribe.
Sweet. Thanks, Brian. I'm really excited to announce our next guest. He is the owner of the first and longest running English pub in Phoenix, the George and Dragon, David Wimberley. How you doing, man?
Now, better not got a beer in my hand.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
This is super awesome.
Yeah,
I'm
we
super
really
stoked
appreciate
for
you
this.
taking the time to join us.
Not at all.
Yeah, so George and Dragon's obviously been a staple here in Phoenix for, what, 20 plus years?
25. We opened February the 15th, 1995, on my mum's birthday.
Yeah, so I would like to start off the show with maybe if we could just talk about maybe the history of the George and Dragon,
Sure.
What brought you here to Phoenix,
How I got the name.
how you got the
All of
name,
it.
Everything.
All right. It started off, I came out of my mum's womb back in 1950. No money.
You got like a pipe.
In my hometown called Ramsgate, southeast England, there's 128 pubs. And all my mates were a couple of years older than me, so they were going to pubs, and I was a skinny little bastard, and I couldn't get served anywhere. So the only pub I didn't go to, because it was right next to the cop shop, the police department, was the George and Dragon. So I'd been everywhere and couldn't get a drink. I went, fuck it. So I walked in and the bartender said, what can I get you? I went, oh, fuck, I panicked. I'd never ordered a drink before. I had no idea what to get. So I remember the TV commercial and it said Skull Lager. I went, oh, give me a pint of your best lager, which is not how you order a beer. So he gives it to me and I went, oh, this is brilliant. It was shit. Absolute rubbish. But I didn't want to make it look like this is the first time I've ever ordered a drink, right? So I got it. I said, I'm going to tell my uni friends about this place. I was a senior at high school. No, was I? Yeah, I was a senior at high school. And so I went back to school the next day and I told all my mates, I said, listen, I got served at the George and Dragon. They went next to the cop shop. I went, yeah, that's the one. So the next day we all took off our jacket and our tie, walked in the pub. There was like 10 of us. And for about 6 months, it was the happening pub on the high street because all the 15-year-olds were getting fucking served. So, you know, of course, I'm nearly 16. Now I'm 6'2". I get served anywhere. So I thought it'd be pretty ironic. The first pub I got served at would be the name of the pub I opened up in Phoenix.
Oh, I love stories like that.
Yeah, it's brilliant. No, I could have got my own pub. I used to sell books door to door, magazines, and I traveled the country, been in every state but 3. And I was in Detroit, and I knocked on this bird's door, this woman's door, and selling a couple of magazines. She said to me, "Is this what you want to do the rest of your life?" Now I'm 24, all right. And I said, well, no, I want to open my own English pub. It's my goal in America. She said, well, come back tonight. I'll cook dinner and we'll have a chat. And I've been living on Taco Bell, so fuck it, I still am. At least once a week. So I go back. She's got fucking steak and lobster, champagne, and I'm loving it, right? Anyway, she said, well, what do you want to do? I said, well, I want to open up a pub. She said, how about if I buy a pub for you up to $1 million? You keep the business, we go 50-50 on it. What do you say? I went, fucking sign me up. She said, we'll be back here tomorrow at 2. I have my lawyer signed up with a draft. So I go back to my hotel room. This is 1980.
In Detroit, right?
In Detroit. It was in a nice area, a big fuck off house. Anyway, so I told my boss I quit and he said, David, you don't understand America. People are full of shit. They say what they want just to get what they want. I went, whatever. I know better. I was 24. I knew everything. So I get a cab, go back to our house, open up the door. Fucking lawyer sitting in the living room, opens up a briefcase, gives me a drink, big fucking wad of paper. and I'm reading through it, and it says, build a pub up to $1 million in 1980. $1 million then was a lot more money than now. And it said you can do it anywhere in the country. And I said I wanted it in Westwood, down by UCLA. And she said, you have total control of it. And we owe 50-50 every month on the profit. On the last line, it said, but have to live as husband and wife. I went, well, what the fuck does that mean? She said, what do you think? I said, I think it means you win and spend $1 million fucking to get laid. So she said, sign it or get the fuck out. I went, fuck you, I'll do it on my own. And I walked out. I got a cab, went back to my hotel room. My manager laughed his ass off and let me go back to work. I called my mother in England. She said, are you out of your fucking mind? I said, you could have been with her, old bird, had what you want, and fucked whoever you liked. And you had your own pub. I went, I'll do it on my own, Mum. 15 years later, I didn't have to shag any other women, but I got it on my own.
That's like every one of our dreams is to run into one of those old women with all that money.
Shit.
And then you pulled it off on your own. That's much respect.
That's like out of a movie.
Yeah.
But like I said, it took me a lot of banging on doors. Hi, is your mum and dad home? Selling magazines, having shotguns pulled on me, guns pulled on me. Football players chase me out of dorms because I'm in a girls' dorm with his girlfriend. Open up the door and I'm fucking naked with his bird. And she's gone, oh, I don't know what he's doing. I said, well, I was fucking you a minute ago. And now got my clothes and I've got 6 football players chasing me down the fucking dorms. So yeah, I went through a lot of shit to get my pub. But when I got here in 94, the pub where the George is now used to be the original Shaker's Pizza, the original one back in the 60s.
Yep.
And then before I got there, it was a gay nightclub called KC's. And before that, it was a burger joint in between, stuff like that. But it was the first pub I looked at, and I hated it.
Well, what made you settle in Phoenix?
My daughter's mother moved here with my daughter.
Oh, okay.
And I wanted to see my daughter grow up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I moved here, and I brought my mother here, my brother, and we opened up the pub. And 9 months later, her mother talked her husband into moving to Florida just to piss me off.
Oh, damn.
But by that time, I'd got a house. I'd bought a business. My mother moved here. My mother's got a house. I wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah. What did you think of Phoenix when you got here?
Loved it.
Yeah.
First time I ever saw a palm tree. I thought I was in fucking Hawaii 5-0.
This was after traveling the country?
Yeah, I'd never been West Coast yet. I started in Texas, and then I went up. I used to travel with the weather. So the East Coast in the summer and the West Coast in the winter. So we did all the East Coast, never did Florida, and come back down, and we Denver, and then here. And I went, fucking hell, palm trees. It was brilliant. And I actually remember the first pub I saw was Hanratty's up on Camelback. And I went, oh, it's an Irish pub here in town. It's not an Irish pub. It's a cool little dive bar, and I know the owners are really cool people. But it's pretty ironic that the first pub I remember, I'm less than a half a mile away.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
Synchronicity.
Yeah, it really is. It was meant to be.
Yeah.
That's just really cool to hear because we grew up in Phoenix and sometimes we take for granted, but for someone to travel to all these cities and come to Phoenix and love it, that's sometimes I need to hear that.
We all need to hear it because that's exactly the same thing I was going to say. When you grow up here, you get so tired of the desert that you just want to get out. Mm-hmm. And then everybody comes here because they love the desert. So I like to hear that refreshing. No, this is a beautiful place. Especially
after traveling all the rest of those cities.
Well, where I'm from in England is a seaside resort. I mean, the beach was, 300 yards from my house. I lived on a cliff, which on top of the beach. So I grew up in the ocean and the beach. I still can't swim. I got a fucking 10-foot diving pool in my backyard. I can't swim. Ask her. I won't even get in there. I put my feet in there now and again, but that's about it. But so I lived on the seaside, so the desert, no big deal. But the beauty of here, you're like, 4-hour drive to Vegas, 2 hours if you want to go snow skiing, 3.5 hours, well, depends who's driving, 3 hours if you want to go to Rocky Point. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, or everything's an hour flight away to what you want. So it's perfect, and it's cheaper to live here than it is in any of those other places.
No natural disasters.
We got. Oh, you see, you have a big tit flying over every. I mean, a boob. Sorry, you have a boob every now and again. Who gives a shit? You know what I'm saying? The only problem with that is the next day your pool looks like shit.
Yep.
But I don't care because I don't get in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I absolutely love it here, and the place is a melting pot. You know what I'm saying? I love it when I meet the people. I think I told my girlfriend this the other night. I was doing trivia night. We do quiz night on a Thursday. And there was about 10 or 12 guys all sitting there drinking. I think it was 2 girls. And I said, oh, they were playing trivia. I said, oh, where are you guys from? They said, oh, we're all school teachers from all over the country. I went, oh, really? I have a bet with you. I said, I bet I can say something about your hometown, so long as your hometown is not in Vermont, not in South Dakota, and not in Alaska, because those are the 3 states I ain't been to. If I can, I would tell you something about your hometown, so long as your hometown is more than 250,000 people. And I think 1 was from Alaska. No, 2 was from Alaska. 1 was South Dakota. But what fucking odds are that, right? But all the other 7, I told him where the nearest Taco Bell was from his house.
Wow.
I told him what bar was around the corner. I said, there's an English pub. Hold it, isn't it across the street? One guy was from Minneapolis. I went, oh, there's a place called Pint's Pub across the street from Solid Gold. He went, how do you know that? I went, been there, done that. I said, both on the same day. You know what I mean? So it was nice. I like to meet people and tell them about the hometown. And they say, how the fuck can you know that? You're from England. You know what I'm saying? And when I was doing the sales, if you meet people from the Midwest, most people from the Midwest have not left the surrounding state. I've never been outside of the surrounding state, which is incredible.
Yeah.
How can you live in America and not go to California, not go to Florida or Hawaii? My girlfriend's from Hawaii. So how can you not go there? That's insane. You know what I'm saying?
Beyond insane. Some people never leave their neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like and those people are even worse. But that is one of the things. Like traveling does it opens up your mind and experiences, and those experiences will shape you more than anything else that somebody tells you.
It's like you learn it from like history books are fine, but like if you go to London, we're going to London in September. And I learned more about the city of London and the history of London on a fucking double-decker bus than I did at school. Because, I mean, the people on the bus, they know everything about the city, and they sit there and say, well, this is so-and-so. I said, oh, that's where that is. Or that happened there. I didn't realize St. Paul's was this close to the West End. I learned more on a double-decker bus tour than I did at my whole 4 years of school.
I didn't learn shit in school.
Yep. I think my science teacher failed me. And because in England, it's totally different. We don't have graduations. You don't even know if you passed your exam for 6 weeks. You get a little tube. Oh, fuck, I failed. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know. My science teacher failed me. And it's really, remember the story? My mother, I went to an all-boys school. My mother went to the same school back in the I think 40s or 50s, whatever. Anyway, I was talking in the back of class, right? And the science teacher came up with a blackboard ruler, was about 5 foot by, I don't know, 6 inches. Come up behind me, smacked me in the back of the fucking head, gave me a big lump, got a concussion. They sent me home, right? So I went home. My mum said, what the fuck are you doing home from school? I said, I just got, I was talking in the back of the class and I got smacked in the back of the head. And she says, was it Fox? I said, yeah. He said, that fucker did it to me. Grabbed me, took me to school. I'm 11. Took me to school, picked up the blackboard ruler, and beat the fuck out of him with it.
I love that.
So what I didn't know,
mom.
Yeah, I didn't know this, but the same teacher did it to my mum, and my grandmother beat the fuck out of him with the same stick 20 years before that. So when I graduated, he failed me. I didn't know he failed me, but that's why. He said, if you have children, please don't bring them here, son. I said, why is that? He said, I don't want to get beat up by 3 generations of your fucking family.
You failed that class before you started it.
Yeah. My mom and grandmother beat the fuck out of him with the same stick he smacked me in the head with.
Damn.
So yeah. What was the scene like when you started your bar here?
It was what was really I remember the day we opened the pub. Like I said, it was February the 15th. We had to open on my mum's birthday. That was the whole idea. At 11 o'clock, I was in the bank, and the bank teller said, "Are you open?" I went, "To be honest, I don't fucking know." And I went, "Well, I don't think we are because I'm getting the money from you to put in the cash register." I get to the pub. There was a line outside the pub, about 100 people, and there was a guy in the front door. He's shaving the bottom of the door because it was too big. So, because the door didn't even close, and I got customers sitting outside, and I'm, I think we're open, and we got slammed, all right. And it was people. I had a big banner for like 3 months. The British are coming, right on the front of the pub, right. And everyone, a lot of my English friends now said they weren't coming. Said I didn't move to fucking America to go to an English pub. It lasted about a month.
Yeah.
After a month, they went, "Oh, we'll just go check it out." You know what I mean? And then I got friends now. 25 years. You know what I'm saying? I've been friends with since I opened the bloody door. I got a friend of mine who managed to pay for 13 years. He's a local. I think you know him, Keith Jackson.
I don't know him personally, but like I know of him, and I know he's been in the punk scene and stuff like that.
Yeah. His band's been around for over 27, 28 years. The Glass Heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he does a lot. He writes a lot of music for different sporting events and stuff, so he does pretty good.
But with that, didn't he also like bring different kinds of punk acts and stuff?
He brought it from Detroit to here.
Yeah.
Back in the I think the late 70s. He brought punk rock to Phoenix. I think he was one of the first punk bands. In fact, they played at the pub a couple of months ago, just before the shutdown here. Oh. And it was one of the best shows they ever done. He was sick. He had something wrong with his voice or whatever. I said, "That's why you sounded so good.
I didn't know
you normally sound like shit." No.
Yeah.
Don't tell him I said that.
I didn't know you guys had shows there.
Yeah. Well, we used to have St. George's Day where we closed the back parking lot off. And then we had two big like flatbeds. Flatbeds. Mm-hmm. And we turned them into stages. And then one band would play and the other one was set
genius.
up. And we had 10 bands play all day. We actually had Gilby Clarke from Guns N' Roses play there one night. Oh, shit. He had Eric Singer from Kiss. Was it Kiss? Eric Singer. He was with Kiss.
One of the guys that replaced the other two guys.
Yeah, he was the drummer.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then some Muddy from LA Guns. Yep. The three of them played at my pub.
Wow.
And what sucked is they played on the chat. We normally finished the last band come on at 8, be done at 9. And the charity fucked up and put down finishes at 8. So they come on. I paid them a bunch of money to play. And then they played 2 songs. And then do you remember, you've lived all your life. So you remember we used to have a councilman. What was his name? Come on. He was the one before last. Gay as a $3 bill. Come on, what was his name?
I should know this.
We usually have a computer guy to look this shit up. But
oh, yeah. So anyway, he had the movie thing across the street in Still Park. All right. Anyway, when I didn't know this, of course, they're going at it. And across the street from me, they sent the cops over. And he said to me, "You're done. Don't ever apply for St. George's Day again because you won't get it. I'll make sure you will never get a license to perform in your parking lot again." So the following year, we had to have it inside. So I went on radio because I used to do my own commercials for the radio, and the Zone and all that stuff. And so I went, this year, St. George's Day is going to be held inside because the local councilman got a little butt hurt last year. But we're not going to make a mountain out of a molehill because remember Brokeback Mountain just came out? And he was gay. He called me up and he said, "You were disrespectful to me on the air." I said, "Let me ask you a question. Are you gay?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Are you in the closet?" He said, "No." I said, "I probably got you laid. Fuck off." Guy's going to really bug me. I can't think of his name. But yeah, so because of him, we can't have St. George's Day outside anymore.
You have to have like special permits or something to have the loud music?
It costs $1,500 just to apply for it.
Jesus.
Even if they could say no. But if there's enough people complain, I have a woman lives behind a pub who's an evil bitch and a troll daughter. And what makes her son is on the board of the home association. Oh God! So yeah, it's just a horrible situation. So yeah, they've complained about everything. I mean, every little thing. So yeah, we just haven't bothered anymore.
Yeah, so, it's just not worth it. The hassle at that point.
It really isn't. Every now and again we have shows. We used to have oh God, what was his name? I'm really shit with names of bands. We've had so many punk bands play in our pub, English punk bands, and I'm terrible. I love that. And I can't tell you one of them. But I mean, it's just, I should text Keith Jackson right now and say, "Give me some of the names." In fact, you know what? Do me a favor, darling. Get onto Keith here, and
well, not only that, but some of the bigger punk bands would come to town. Wouldn't they come to the George and Dragon afterwards?
And to drink,
and you guys would kind of close the doors.
But these guys would literally play in the pub.
That's
Keith would book them. I've got you know some of these names. I'm gonna have a text him right now. You got his number? Oh, clever clocks.
Nice.
How the hell do you have his number? No, he doesn't go on Facebook much. All right. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, once you name some of these bands that played in pub, I didn't know who they were, and then he tells me, I went, "Are they any good?" He said, "Dave, these were the biggest bands in the '70s in England." So it's the Buzzcocks, you know?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
They played in the pub.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And anyway, in a minute, we'll hear some of these bands that played. And yeah, they all come to the pub and partied. We've had quite a few band members come in there. Not punk, but you ever heard of a band called The Specials?
Yes.
Well, they came here like over 20 years ago. In fact, we saw them play downtown earlier in the year. They played over in Tempe, and They all came to the barn, had a good time, and they come back 3 months later, did the same thing, and yeah. So we get a lot of famous bands. I'll tell you, we did get.
Well, I was doing some research on the George and Dragon.
Oh, yeah?
And I know you have a funny story about Chumbawamba.
Oh, brilliant! Fuck me, they hated me. Oh man,
Yeah.
I used to advertise on the Zone, and they said something that pissed me. I went, "Fuck you, I'm done." They said, "Listen, if you," I got this. There's 2 stories. This one is like. So anyway, so they said, "Listen, if you go back on the air, the Chumbawamba who literally was in the charts, 1-hit wonder eventually. I get knocked down."
Yeah.
So he said, I'll bring them all to the pub and we'll be live and you can be on the air and we'll promote your pub for a while. I went, all right. So they showed up. They're all from Birmingham.
How many are in the group?
There was like 8 or 9 of them.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And there was a football match going on. United was playing. It's a Wednesday. God, I don't remember that shit. I don't even know my fucking address, but I know it was a Wednesday and the Man United were playing. Anyway, so I said, listen, I made you a big fuck off shepherd's pie. In the expression, when you say fuck off shepherd, it means like fuck off, you can't eat all that, can you? And it means a lot.
I love
so yeah.
Oh yeah.
Obviously.
So yeah. This is beer though. So
and
anyway,
Taco Bell.
a lot. So anyway, made a big shepherd's pie and they said, well, we're all vegans. And I went, well, I didn't fucking know. He said, well, don't you know us? I went, you've got 1 fucking hit in the chart. All I know is you're from England. I don't even know where you're from in England. We're from Birmingham. I said, well, that fucking explains it. Ain't Northerners. Anyway, I said, well, I'll go make some veggie pasties and veggie burgers for you. So then the bald-headed guy, the leading singer, he said to me, he said, do you have a soup? I went, yeah, split pea soup. He went, oh, pea soup. I'll try that. I went, all right. I didn't want to say nothing because he was a dick. So I went in the kitchen and got the plate. No, do you know what's in split pea soup?
Yeah, ham hock.
Yeah, he didn't fucking know. Oh, we made it with ham, sliced ham. So I got it and I pushed all the ham to the bottom of the plate. And I give it to him and I fucking sat there and watched him. Me and Keith watched him eat it. He ate the entire thing. So when I was it, he said, actually wasn't that bad. I went, so let me get this right. You're a vegetarian, but you're okay with ham. He said, what do you mean? I went, well, you're not that fucking ignorant. You didn't realize ham was in split pea soup. I fucking ate ham. I said, yeah, because you're an ignorant cunt, aren't you? Anyway, so they had their meal and Diana just got killed a couple of months beforehand.
Princess
Right?
Diana.
So I had a big picture of her in the restaurant. Now, they were all anti-royals. They fucking hate the royal family, all right? Anarchy, all that bollocks. Anyway, so I said, can I get a picture of the band? And they didn't want to, but, the press guy was there and he went, all right. So I said, oh, no, move over a little bit. Perfect. Click. I said, what is that? I said, because you're right under Princess Diana's picture. You're going to be great on my page. You can't fucking do that. I went, hey, you got free food and drink. Fuck off. I can do whatever I bloody like. So I said, Chumbawamba never come back.
Yeah, they don't like you.
But my other one with the band, with the radio station, my mum, when my mum was alive, her favorite singer of all time was Barry White. All right. So again, I had a pissing match with the Zone, and they said, listen, we know your mum loves Barry White. If you come back to the station, I'll give you front row VIP tickets and you can meet Barry White. I went, I can't turn that down. My mum, you're kidding me? So we're driving to the concert, and my mum was like, I don't know, 63. And we told her, she's doing, David, this is my first ever concert. I went, are you fucking kidding me? She said, and we're seeing Barry White. She starts crying. I start fucking crying.
Aww.
So we get there. It was a brilliant concert. And now, you've been to Desert. Wait, it was Desert Sky.
Yeah, Desert Sky.
Right. So so the stage is here, and we're all up here in the fucking hill, and they all sit up on the hill. They come down the side of the stage, and then there was a fence, and that's where we met the VIP people. So he's about 20 feet away from us, and my mum's at the front. My mum's 5'3". She was a tiny little thing. Anyway, so she's like looking, oh my God, she's looking at me. I can't believe I'm going to meet Barry White. This is brilliant. This is brilliant. Anyway, just as he's about like 4 people away, this 300-pound African-American woman picks my mother up, moves her out of the way, and pushes herself to the fence.
What?
And I looked at her husband. I looked at them. My mum turned around. She went, fuck you. I'm here to meet Barry White. Grabs her and fucking body slams her to the ground. Fuck you. Turns around. Hey, Barry, how are you, mate? And he fucking look. Crazy white woman.
Damn.
Shakes my mum's hand. This bitch is still on the floor. I went, Mum, can we go now? Sure. Her husband and me grabbed her fucking hand. We literally ran out of the fucking concert. The girl was still laying on the fucking floor.
Damn, Barry White fans are crazy.
Oh, yeah. Fucking, I couldn't believe it was her first ever concert.
That's very
Well, that's
sweet
a
of you to
great
do that.
That's
No
a
shit.
great concert to go to, your first ever concert, and you're seeing your favorite person
Of all time, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think my favorite. I'm a big reggae person, so I like UB40.
Yeah.
So I like that kind. Saw them play a couple times last year too. So yeah, I like that. Like people say, what kind of music you like? Keith's the punk stuff. I'm not into punk, but they do have some really really good songs that I like a lot. And he's really fun to watch live. He's the AD's drummer, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But I'm more of a Motown and soul and
More laid back.
yeah, and disco. But you know what? Fucking kids in the jukebox.
It's pretty much disco's pretty much back. I mean,
yeah,
it's
it really never left.
No.
yeah, that's true.
Here's a story I haven't told you. I tell you all my funny stories, and I think she doesn't tell me that I've told it before because she just likes to hear it again. So,
Hey, good stories never lose their luster.
so I'm my first been in America about 3 months, and my supervisor was a black guy from Colorado, and he was in the disco with me. So we've gone to this club and in West Memphis, Tennessee, and we opened the door, and it's disco fever shit. And I opened the door, and I was the only white guy in the club. I went, fuck. He said, now you know what it's like when I hang out with you. I went, yeah, this is fucking intimidating as shit, right? So we go to the bar, and there was a white guy behind the bar. Now in England, if you see two things that match, you say snap. It's a card game, like you say go fish or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the guy was white. I went, hey, snap. And he looked at me like I was a fucking idiot and just walked away from me. I went, it really goes, dude, he didn't understand what you meant. I went, so we get a beer, and he walks away to hitting on some bird, and I'm sitting there on my own in an all-black club in West Memphis, Tennessee, freaking out. I get a tap on the shoulder, and I went, oh, fuck, here we go. So I grabbed the bottle, because in England, the first thing you do, grab a glass or bottle if you're going to get into it. And I turned around, this is really cute black chick. She went, just because you're white doesn't mean you can't dance. I went, I can fucking dance. She went, let's go. I went, all right. So we go out there, we have a couple of dances. She gives me a hug and a kiss, and I sit down. I grabbed my beer and I fucking turned around. There's another bird. I just saw you dance. You're white. You can dance. I went, I know. So we did it again. Willie shows up and said, you want to go somewhere else? I went, fuck you. I'm here at the bar. I ain't go nowhere.
Fucking dance moves.
I know.
Now, huh?
I could dance like, yeah. In England, if you can't dance, you can't get a date. I mean, I've seen drop dead good looking guys go up to girls, say, you want to dance? Ooh, take my panties. You know what I'm saying? They get on the dance floor and they dance like an idiot. I've seen them just walk off the dance floor. Because if you can't dance.
Some white guys just can't dance. You know?
Really bad. Really bad. It's like they're listening to a different tune than what everyone else is listening to.
Not only can I'm tone deaf, so I can't carry a tune to save my life. I can't carry rhythm at all.
I'm tone deaf. I can't carry.
I can't carry a tune, but I like to think I have a little bit of rhythm.
No, mine's terrible. I tried
like Elaine from Seinfeld.
It's bad. It's bad. So I just don't do it.
Yeah. There's some other acts that I read about that even like Cheap Trick came.
Yep, the drummer from he comes in all the time. What's his name? Blonde kid.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
And one that blew my mind was
did he get back with you yet? Not yet. Okay.
Eric Idle from Monty Python. That's
we went down to see his show. And it was one man show. He did it, and he came back to the pub. And he doesn't drink. But he came back and had an appetizer and coffee and stuff. We hung out with him for like about an hour and a half. And then unfortunately, he calls me back later on that night. He lost his prescription glasses and they weren't in the pub. So he probably was not going to come back. But what a funny man. Absolutely brilliant.
That's a legendary.
He's absolutely. Well, now, I don't know if when was the last time he was at the George?
I was at the George?
Yeah.
Actually, probably I think it was like last September. Me and my girlfriend up there played pool. That's when she forgot her license there, and we came back the next day too.
Well, we've just done while we've been closed because of COVID. We've done all the bathrooms up, and what I've decided to do, because the biggest complaints I got online was the bathrooms are shit, whatever. So they're brand new, they're awesome, and so I've decided in the men's room by the pool tables, I've got the tin signs from different bands. So in that bathroom, it's all British bands.
Oh, sweet.
And in the bathroom up north, in the other side of the pub, I've got 10 all American bands, so it's going to be pretty cool. But what I did was I got a banner. I don't know if you ever watched Monty Python's.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
You remember the Ministry of the Funny Walks?
Mm-hmm.
I've got the banner of
John Cleese.
John Cleese doing the Ministry of the Funny Walks.
Yeah.
I got that banner in the pub.
It.
That's great.
Yeah. So I want to see how long it stays before someone nicks it.
Are those bathrooms really haunted?
The whole pub is.
The whole pub is.
I can't even count how many things have happened.
Yeah.
We've had ghost hunters there. They're there, and they verified that it's haunted. The one time they had them, and actually on the Mesa Tribune, they had an audio of one of the ghosts talking.
That's exactly what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
If they got any
100%. And I've actually heard it. What they did was we closed the pub down at night, and it was ultra light, the lights and beams and shit. And then they had like 8 or 9 people dressed in black in different parts of the pub. And the walkie-talkies, I'm in the south men's room, south women's room, yada, yada, yada. I'm in the north ladies' room. And as he said that, you hear a voice go, "I'm here." And he was on his own. He freaked the fuck out, ran out the bathroom, ran through the kitchen. As he ran through the kitchen, someone grabbed his arm and stopped him in the middle of the kitchen, and there was nobody there. He runs back to where everyone is and puts a light on him, and you can see the handprint on his arm.
What?
Yeah, gospel truth.
Do you know any of the history that might be causing it?
Built on Indian burial grounds.
Oh, shit.
Across the street was Indian high school.
Yeah.
When
Indian school, right?
Yeah. But when I moved here in 1994, the schools were still there.
Yes.
They hadn't torn them down yet.
Nope.
So that whole area was all burial ground for
I'm such an idiot. I always wondered why it was called Indian School Road.
Yeah. I
And
remember
that's
that.
why, because there was.
Yeah, that's where the Indian high school was.
Yeah.
Right there.
I didn't know that.
And I remember that very distinctly growing up. The school buildings that were still there.
Sure.
Yeah.
What's
Crazy.
there now? Just
I don't know. What is there now?
on the other side of
They
that.
actually supposedly they sold it. Long story short, they sold it to the government for some property down in Florida, and it worked out it was fucking swamp. You can't make the shit up. Anyway, so they got it back, and then they've just sold it to a developer last year, and they got a massive big project there. They got 2 40-story high-rise apartments, 2 12-story office buildings, a hotel, movie theater, 4,300 underground parking spots. It's all going to be in that
That's
section.
got to be great for the pub.
Yeah, when it finally gets done. You know what I'm saying? That's why people keep, hey, you want to sell the pub? Yeah. Think of a number, add a 0, double it, get back.
Yeah. Damn
You know what I'm
right.
saying? But yeah, what am I going to do? Who's going to fucking employ this old dude? You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't employ him.
Yeah.
So I sit there until I'm bored. You know what I'm saying? I still love it. I go there 3 or 4 days a week, play pool on Tuesdays, trivia on Thursdays.
I used to do the trivia back in like around 2008. My band, we'd practice downtown, and we'd always hang out there on the patio and drink
really?
and stuff.
We
and
still do it.
We do the trivia.
We were there last Friday night till 2 o'clock. Well, about 1:30. But yeah, it's the same characters there, and it's brilliant. You go there. Remember Cheers, the TV show?
Oh, for sure.
That's what the pub is. It's where everybody knows your name. You walk in, you could be a complete stranger, and by the end of the night, you're going to know people. There was a guy sitting this is a true story. I was bored last night, and in the end, I called. I said, anyone down there? And he took a photograph. I went, shit, I'm coming down. There was a bunch of people I like. And
if it's not a bunch of people, you're like,
I'll
no.
fucking stay home. I'm not going to hang out with people I don't
why
like.
would you? Yeah.
You know what I mean? I like to choose who I drink with, right? Anyway, there was a guy sitting. I never told you this one. There's a guy sitting he had his beard and sitting there, and he's just weird. He's looking at everyone, and I'm enjoying the conversation, and I'm thinking, he's not a ghost. He's got a beer in his hand. So anyway, so about 10 minutes later, he started sitting down and talking to one of the girls, Katie, one of the waitresses. And then I'm sitting and talking to Nick. Said, I think that's one of Katie's old friends. So, hey, what's up, dude? And we're talking to him. And anyway, he goes to the bathroom. I said, how long you known him? She went, I thought he was a friend of yours. I said, no, I thought he was. No one fucking knew this guy. He just planted himself on our table. He ended up being a nice guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we go there and everyone feels comfortable. I like that women can go there and don't get harassed. It's not a pickup joint. You know what I'm saying? If a woman goes in and wants to talk to you, she'll fucking she'll come over here. No, but it's not one of those places where you get the barfly going table to table. You know what I'm saying? So if a lot of women go there on their own and enjoy the pub, have a drink, get food, and bugger off.
Yeah.
If they want to meet someone, they can. But it's not that kind of place.
I like what your brother once said. I read this. I think it was in New Times or something. Your brother once said, it wasn't just a bar, it's a pub. And a pub is a place to socialize with drink, not a place to drink and socialize, which is kind of, I like that.
My brother's a clever fucker.
Yeah.
He really is.
Yeah.
He really is. He's the most read person I've ever met in my entire life. But yeah, exactly. It's an extension of your living room. it's not just people say, oh, I like your bar. It's not a fucking bar. It's a pub. You know what pub stands for? Public house. In other words, it's like your living room.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
And so, if for people who don't know, can you explain the difference of an American bar to an English pub?
For the first thing, we have good beer.
Yeah.
That is the most important thing. And you don't just. We go to a pub in England. You sit there. There's no stalls at the bar. No one sits at the bar. The reason why, because they want you to mingle and chat with people.
Yes.
Because if you're sitting at the bar,
I never even thought of that.
you're sitting there, you're on a stool and you're facing the bartender. What happens if she's not hot, or if it's an ugly dude? You don't want to just sit and stare at that person, but that's your only choice. But if you've got nowhere to sit, you sort of look around and see what's going on, and you mingle. There was no stalls in the pubs, and that's the way it is. So we actually took away a lot of our stalls because of social distancing. So we took away 50% of our stalls. So, people feel comfortable coming in. So that's what we did that for. I don't know how long we're going to do it for, but, we're doing it anyway.
You do that on your own, or does the city and state make you do that?
There's no law. They've said guidelines.
Guidelines, yeah.
And the 6 foot and all that kind of stuff. The first day it opened up, we went for lunch, and there was no social distancing in this place.
Yeah.
And
most people don't give a shit.
Yeah. Since the very first day we opened was on the Wednesday, and I saw 2 people with a mask, no one else. And I've never seen more than 3 or 4 people in a mask the whole time we've been open. I mean, last night I was in there, I didn't see anybody. The only one I saw was my manager, and he's pretty anal about it. So he wears a mask the whole time. But other than that, people are just saying, fuck it,
Yeah.
You're going to die of something, you know what I mean? At least I'm going to enjoy my life. I'm not going to be sitting indoors going like some of these countries in England. I got friends of mine in England that haven't been out of the house except to go to the store and come straight back in 2 months.
Yeah,
I think I was kind of like that for like 4 to 6 weeks. I didn't really go anywhere.
But that was before. I think that was before we realized that
it's bullshit.
They're not telling us a lot of stuff, and it's not what we think. I think that's why we were kind of scared.
There's so much.
They definitely instilled the fear in me, and then I was just kind of over it.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's got everyone freaked. Now, and we've had this conversation many, many times. I mean, are people dying of it? Absolutely. And like I said, we just had a scare. My best friend, we thought he had it. He got tested at 9 o'clock this morning. He calls me up. It's negative. I went, Sunday Funday. He went, I'll be there. So we're going to have a drink today. So yeah, there are people are dying of it.
Yeah, it's definitely a real thing.
Yeah, but how many people have died of pneumonia this year?
Yes.
How many? You know what I'm saying? It's worse. It's a worse string of it. It's terrible. People are dying of it. But the average age of people dying of it is what, 70?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Or more.
Yeah, it's sad. I mean, but you can't be scared of the rest of your life. You got to live your life. You're here once, enjoy it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Fuck the government. Enjoy your life.
Yeah, we only have so many summers and winters left. Why spend it?
Fucking long.
At my age, yes, you're right.
Yeah.
But no, I enjoy every day. I have fun every day, no matter what. I do something or have a good time.
That's infectious too.
And really, and when I go down the pub, I laugh a lot. I tell jokes. I have a good time, and people they enjoy it, and then they come over and chat, and everyone has a good time. You know what I'm saying? You got to do it. You got to have fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's not worth stressing out if you don't have to. No. Definitely.
I mean, I'm living proof that if you have a good sense of humor and a good personality, you can get good-looking girlfriend. Because it sure the fuck ain't for this. You know what I mean? Or this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have fun. You gotta enjoy life. And if you enjoy your life, people around you will do too. And that's why I in the pub I do that. I only hire people that are fun. It just so happens they're attractive, which is a bonus. You're welcome. But no, I mean, I employ people that if I go to a bar and I want to sit and chat to a waitress or a bartender, I'd say, you know what, I had a good time. She was so nice to me. I know I got no chance of shagging her, but she made me feel comfortable, and I'm going to go there again. You know what I'm saying? I
noticed that shit because when I do go to other bars and restaurants, they don't give a shit when they don't even look at you when they take your drink and stuff or whatever. So there's definitely a more personable experience when you go to the George and Dragon for sure.
And the girls will talk to you. Now, have you noticed if you said you haven't been there in a year? All right.
No, it was like last September.
Okay.
So close to a year,
yeah.
Shit, fuck yeah. Damn.
Okay, 8 months. So I'm willing to bet you. You probably don't remember who the bartender was that served you, but I'm willing to bet you whoever it was when you walk in will go, "Hey, what's up? You Bud Light, right?" Or they will know your drink. That's a good bartender.
Yeah.
That's a good bartender. You said, where's your girlfriend, Julie? She's not with you tonight? A good bartender, a good server will know your name, know what you drink the minute you walk in the door. That's a good bartender. And that's what it's all
They
about.
also seem to know the timing of how you drink your beer because they're right there to fill it up right at the right time too. It's like, are you reading my mind?
Once you, I said anything under anything, when you get half of your drink and under, go get them. They're ready for another one. Because by the time you got half a pint, I say, you ready for another one? Well, I said, well, it's going to take me 5 minutes to get back. All right, fuck it, give me one. And that's what it's all about. No, there's a street, I'm not going to mention the name. There's a bar up the street on 7th Avenue, just north of Indian School. Anyway, they don't have servers. And I can't believe it. They're really busy. They make a great living. But I'm telling you that if they had a server on their patio, they'd probably make an extra 25% income. Because people are fucking lazy.
Yeah.
Like if the three of us are going out for a drink and say, well, it's your round. Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah.
You got to get up from the seat on your patio and go inside and get a drink. Then you're going to argue whose round it is. But if a server is your one, oh yeah, it's my round. Yeah, I'll get this one. 3 Stellas.
You'll probably buy more rounds
100%.
than normal. Yeah.
100%. And we don't have that in England either. The pubs in England don't have servers unless it's a restaurant.
Wow.
I mean, it's insane. I just don't get it. But like I said, it's a social thing because you go to the bar and most of the bars are so busy on the weekend. There's 4 or 5 deep at the bar. Guess what? You're chatting with everyone in line.
And I'm real big history buff, and I love to watch what it would be like to live in Europe and especially in England.
Yeah, you were just talking about that.
Yeah. And one of the things that I notice is that, and this is just from an outsider, so I'm asking, in pubs in England, it seems like 90% of them have history, hundreds or more, close to 100 years. The whole town grew up going to that same pub. Their grandfather's grandfather went to that same pub. And it's like, exactly like you're saying, it's more than just a bar. It's more than you've got. It's like a church. Home.
It's like a church.
It's home.
Yeah.
It's home.
What happens is like the closest pub to where you live, because not everyone drives. Two of my best friends, husband and wife, neither one of them drive. And they're both in their 60s. Never driven a car in their life. They bought a house, so walking distance to where she works. He gets a bus because he cleans homes and offices. Never driven. But they go to the closest pub to their house. That's where the local is. And walk in. Lenny, Karen, what's up? And you walk in because that pub's been there for 100, 200 years.
Yes.
There's a pub in my hometown called the Honeysuckle Inn. And we looked it online, didn't we? And I think it's been around since 13-something. 1300.
Damn.
It was on the main road, the Roman road, because the Romans, when they come to England, they went through Ramsgate, all right? And there's a Roman road all the way up into London. And so this pub in the 1300s was on the main road to London. It's now in a fucking alleyway. You have to get lost to find it.
I love shit like that.
Yeah, seriously, it's been around since the 1300s. And you walk in and you have to fucking duck to get into the door. You go to Canterbury, by Cathedral. I showed a picture of that. I'm standing by a door and the fucking door's here. You know what I mean? I'd be Jolly Green Giant.
They were all 5 foot tall back then.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And the fat women were attractive.
Yes.
Boy, my God, I wasn't around them. You know what I mean? But it's true. Fucking people, you know why they were fucking attractive? Because that means they have money. Because they could afford to eat.
Being obese back then was like a sign of being attractive.
Yeah,
because
being rich, you have money
because
because you could afford to fucking eat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I'm 6'2". I'd have been a black giant in those days.
Yeah.
You'd have been a king.
I know. Yeah.
all you need is I came dressed as you, Henry VIII, for Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time of my time where it's just, okay, I got some time for myself, and I'll read or watch, a documentary about living in England during, the past. Anytime, I love medieval history. I love Tudor England. I love all that stuff, and I just eat it up.
But so you know who Thomas a Becket is?
Yes, of course. Okay. I know who Thomas Becket
is. Do you know where he was killed and buried?
Yep, he was killed at Canterbury Cathedral.
Uh-huh.
I don't know where he was buried. I'm sure if you
said
okay, because I remember Henry II is one of my all-time favorite historical figures, and I love everything about that story.
Well, someone rid me of this tiresome monk.
Yep.
They thought he just wanted to get him the fuck out. They didn't realize. He said, "All right," and they killed him.
Yep.
But he didn't mean, well, kill the fucker. They just said, get rid of him, get him out of here. You know what I'm saying? They killed him in Canterbury Cathedral, and his tomb is in there. And I actually got a picture of that on my phone. I can actually show you when we're done. And he's still there. And Canterbury's 15 minutes from my house.
Wow.
So I used to go there every weekend. It's brilliant. And
we don't have that here.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Like you guys just have that history in England that we just don't have here in America.
No.
I live in Encanto, the historic district.
Yes.
I got socks older than my fucking house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My house.
Oh, and they call it historic.
They call it historic.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Historic is in the 60s and 70s. Historic. Are you kidding me? I got shoes I bought in the 60s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love that area though.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah. I know what kills me. I live on Windsor Avenue. Go figure. Can't get more. And my zip code 85007.
Oh shit.
Go figure that.
Damn.
And it's called Margaritaville or Margarita Place. I mean,
you were meant to.
I
Come
was
to
due to
Phoenix.
live there.
Yeah.
It's like, where should I live? There.
Yeah.
Right there.
Are there any okay, so I want to talk about a little bit more about what's going on now in Phoenix. Not talking about the COVID stuff or anything stuff that's going on right now, but like is there any businesses that are new that you really like, this is a really good business that needs to thrive here, or that you enjoy spending money at, or that you can talk about in the local Phoenix area?
I don't like going to corporate stuff. I believe in locals spending money with local business owners. And that's, to me, that's important. And obviously because I'm a local businessman, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, like Fridays, Applebee's, Bennigan's, Hula Hands, all that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? If you go to a little Mexican restaurant down the street, there's one around the corner for me as the best sauce. I judge a Mexican restaurant by its salsa.
Oh, I do too. Yeah.
If you got good salsa, I'm in.
Yep.
But there again, there is a place in town.
You got to tell me a few because I'm always looking for a good Mexican.
I like La Empanada up on 7th.
Oh, I haven't been there yet.
Really good salsa. We had my girlfriend's a vegetarian. It's good food the other day. Yeah. But their sauce, the bread enchilada sauce is brilliant.
Taco Guild sauce is amazing.
I can't believe I paid $7.50 for a bottle of beer in there.
Ooh.
Fuck that place.
Yeah.
You know, for a bottle of beer, $7.50, and it was Mexican beer.
Oh,
you know what I mean? It was Tecate, not Tecate, Dos Equis, $7.50.
We got more of those, by the way. If you need more, just let me know.
Yeah, I'm ready. Where's the bartender? Anyway,
right here. I'll be right back.
No, but yeah, I paid $7.50 for a bottle of Tecate of Dos Equis in Taco Guild. I'm sorry, that's just taking the piss.
I was just saying their sauce is good.
No, the food. Don't take me wrong. The food is good there, but I hate it when people take advantage. Okay, this is a hip place, so I'm gonna fuck you in the ass with bigger prices.
Yeah,
I'm one of the cheapest places in Central Phoenix, and that's why we've been here 25 years.
Exactly, and you're gonna have a community that grows organically that way too.
Cheers. I mean, I hate it when they put the minimum wage up last year. It killed me. I mean, my wages went up $80,000 a year. Damn. Because minimum wage went up. All right.
I can't stand
shit.
that. There's very few things that have driven me more angry or to just be so angry that you just want to hit somebody than what happened with that minimum wage tax. And I'll give you a story. My brother goes to fucking Jimmy John's, right, to get a sandwich right after the minimum wage tax got raised, and he gets the same sandwich every time. He says, it's usually 5 something, and now it's 7 something. And he asks, "What? I was just in here the other day. Why'd it go up?" "Well, because minimum wage goes up." My brother goes, "You fucking idiot! That's gonna cause everything to go up."
100%. You're right.
And it's pointless
It
at that
sucks.
point.
It's absolutely. I put it this way: it's $12 an hour. I got people in my kitchen that can't fucking spell 12, but they're making $12 a fucking hour. Explain that shit to me.
Yeah.
Literally $80,000 a year. My wages gone up. So I put up my beers by 50 cents, and I got people saying, "Well, it's just too expensive." I said, "Then fucking go somewhere else." If you don't understand it, then you shouldn't have voted for it because you guys voted for this.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Now, to people, I mean, all right, so it's a livable wage. I understand. But my accountant told me he lost 25% of his businesses because they went out of business because the minimum wage went up.
Well, and here's another big problem with that. The minimum wage goes up. It doesn't mean that the people that are making median incomes are going to get a cost of living raise. You don't get cost of living raises anymore in the corporate world.
Everything just goes back up, and then they're at the same spot.
And so it screws everybody above them. And those people can't spend money above them because now they're saving more money. It's not going to help. I mean, I'm not an economist, but that seems pretty obvious.
No, I'm upset with. I got people that are that were making minimum wage who are now unemployed that are getting $750, $800 a week. My daughter's a nurse down in Florida, working on the COVID fucking wing down in Florida, and she's risking her life every single fucking day. And she doesn't make as much money as people who are getting this check from the government, nearly $800 a week, and she's risking her life. Now, a couple of weeks ago, before the bars reopened, we were doing to-go food. And what we did, Channel 10, a friend of mine, anytime there's anything to do with the news in England, Channel 10, dude, call David down at George. You know what I mean? So they always come there because apparently I'm the expert. So it's true. So I hope no one from Channel 10 is listening to this, but if you are, I apologize.
You're like,
what happens
you're
when
like
they
the
call
British expert?
Yeah, they call me the royal Arizona's royal correspondent to the royal family.
That's badass.
Swear to God. No, the reason what happens, they find out something's going on. They call me up. One of the reports, David, have you heard? I said, it's fucking disgusting. I can't believe it. Said, can we come and talk? Absolutely. I'll be there in an hour. I get on the phone. Tony, get online. What the fuck is going on in England? My brother gets online, finds out. I get there and I'm informed before I get interviewed. That's been going on for 25 years. But I did guess the name of the children. I did get lucky in that, and I did guess their name, so I got that. But yeah, and whenever there's anything to do, anyway, so I called him up, and Troy Hayden, I've known him for 25 years, one of the nicest
I love Troy
guys.
Hayden.
Absolutely. So and Hookie, I've known him too, just one of the nicest guys. So anyway, I have his cell number. He probably fucking wishes I don't have it anymore.
John Hook?
Oh, no. Troy. I have his personal number because we used to play cards every Monday night before he met his lovely wife and children. Anyway, so we used to play, and so I got his number. He was a new reporter then, right? So I called and said, listen, I want to do something for the first responders. So what I did was they come down. I got a friend of mine who owns a lawyer. He's a lawyer, owns a company, and he sponsored it. And for one day, between 12 and 8, when we opened doing deliveries, any first responders eat for free. And it was brilliant. And that was and I called my daughter, and she was on the phone, and she was really happy I did it. And it's just my way of paying back, because these people risk their lives every single day. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
were you able to stay open, or you just did takeout during the whole COVID thing? Or?
We did that. We chose our hours. We took most of our money between 6 and 8. And on the weekends, we open till 10.
I was just curious of what it was like as a restaurant bar opener during this COVID, just because, I don't give a shit about the major corporates, but all these, family and business owners, like, just what has that been like?
Someone come up with a number, said that at least 50 businesses went under.
Yeah, that's the worst part. And these are businesses like yours that are staples of
in
the community.
Yeah.
And that's the worst part, especially in Phoenix.
Well, because also the George and Dragon is one of those few places that is a community bar like that.
Yeah.
There's not that many in Phoenix.
We don't have very many places that have the history like the George and Dragon has.
Or the longevity.
It's funny, you just hit something on the head. The Americans called the pub the Dragon, and the Brits call it the George. Let me tell you the reason why. It's really weird, and it's everyone said, where you going? Americans call it the G&D or the Dragon. In England, we always call the pub by the first name. Like if it was called the Pig and Whistle.
The Pig.
Yeah. And I said, everyone called, if I had $1, we've been dating for 3 months. How many times have you heard someone say, hey, there's George. Hey, George. What's up, George? They all call me. I said, what happens if this was, no. I said, I'm George. My ex-wife's a dragon. You know what I'm saying? But if it was the Pig and Whistle, am I the pig or the whistle? You know what I'm saying? But but everyone calls it, the George and Dragon. They always say the George. And
I like that.
Yeah. Oh, if it's the King George, we all go down the King. You know what I'm saying? They always call it by the first name.
I like that. Yeah.
But Americans call it by the last name. It's pretty funny.
That is funny.
But I mean, I used to advertise and said, all is forgiven. Come back to England. Leave your passport at home when you walk in. You're not in America anymore. You're in England, and have a good time. Now, we did, I should do my own commercials on. This one commercial was brilliant because 4th of July is coming up. I did a commercial for 4th of July. I said, all is forgiven. Come back to England on the 4th of July. Anyone with an English accent or anyone that can fake it, I'll give you happy hour all day. And then I said, don't forget, Paul Revere was just a fucking snitch on a horse. Right? So I didn't say fucking, I was on the air.
Yeah.
So the next morning, 11 o'clock, the phone rings. I went, George and Dragon, can I help you? And this old dude said, I want to speak to the man from the radio station. And I said, that was me, sir. What can I do for you? He said, you were disrespectful to our national hero. I went, hey, what makes you think fucking George, that Paul Revere was a snitch? He was a snitch on a horse. He stole a horse from a doctor, never took it back. He's not even the one that said the British are coming.
Nope.
You guys all put that
Yeah.
on he didn't even do it.
Nope.
He said, I fought for my country in 2 world wars. I said, was one of them 1776? He said, no. I said, well, I wasn't there. You wasn't there. Let's just get over it, shall we?
Have a sense of humor, man.
I said, well, when was the last time you've been to my pub? He said, I've never been there. I said, then fuck you. And I hung up
Yeah,
on
no
him.
shit. Like, what, that's just a waste of time.
I don't mind getting shit from people to spend money in my place, but if you've never been there, fuck off.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take your shit.
Amen.
Especially a guy with no humor.
Oh, you got to have a sense you walk in my pub.
For sure.
You come in for the beer, stick around for the abuse. Yeah, believe me. Amount of times, my brother is like 5'6", 5'7", but the best.
I've met him before too.
Yeah,
He's really nice.
The best at kicking people out. Because my brother's 19 years clean and sober.
Good for him. Congrats on that.
Oh, yeah, no
Congratulations
shit.
on that.
And he always has a pen behind his ear, and that's his weapon. Believe it or not. Oh yeah. And in fact, I just told you that this is a great story. He was in a pub one day talking to this truck driver who's about 6'5", big bastard, young, probably early 20s. And he's talking to my brother for a couple of hours, and then he's got a little cocky. My brother said, listen, calm down, I'm going to throw you out. And he said, you whose army? And he went, and he leaned over, he said, believe me, I won't need a fucking army to kick you out, all right? And I wasn't here. I was in England at the time. Now, later on the night, he's had a few more drinks. Now, my mate Nigel and his wife just painted the bathroom, Union Jack, the whole thing was pretty cool. He was outside kicking the door. So Nigel's wife, who did it, said, "Oi, fuck off, we just painted that." He went, "Fuck you, you fat cunt."
Oh, shit.
Nigel, he just called me a fat cunt. Nigel's drunk, runs over, he's at the jukebox to put money in his jukebox, runs over, dives on this guy, dashes him, throws him to the floor, goes to bite his nose off. I can't make the shit up.
Hey, when you fight, you fight.
We don't fuck around.
Yeah.
So he goes to bite his nose off. The guy moves his face. He takes a lump out of his fucking eyebrows. He takes a bite out of it, spits it back in his face, and he's screaming like a 6-year-old girl.
Yeah.
My brother comes over and goes, "I guess he didn't need a fucking army either, did he?" The next day, this guy comes back in with a big fucking thing on his eye. He said, "I need to apologize to some people." He ended up being a really nice guy. He just had too much to drink and he was a dickhead.
Wow.
But he had a fucking big bandage on his eye. His whole half his eyebrow was completely gone.
Jesus.
Yeah, he just bit it and spat it at him.
You probably have millions of stories of just people just.
But you know
'cause,
what kills? We don't have a lot of fights, which is amazing considering. I mean, how many people in everything. We've been open 25 years, and I'm going to exaggerate. I'm going to say in 25 years we might have had 40 fights. But when you think about, I have 300 people in here every night, all of ages. I want to actually
Pretty
bring
good
that number
numbers.
down. But we've had some doozies. We had, unfortunately, most of them have been on band nights.
Yeah.
Which is the reason why I stopped doing it.
Because like moshing and just that.
Just
like,
idiots.
Idiots
Idiots screaming and shouting, and one band doesn't like the band, the other guy likes the band. My band's better than your band. Fuck you, boom, fights.
Yeah. The
Shall
band
I
shake.
tell them that one?
Let's hear it.
I gotta hear it. You gotta hear this one. All right. I'm not this kind of person, but I was this night.
We all make mistakes.
We all have those nights.
We all have those nights. So anyway, it's the end of the night. Keith's band was playing, the Heroes were playing, and I'm fucking pissed. It's 1 o'clock. I'm drunk. There was an altercation outside between a Caucasian guy and an Indian guy. And they fighting anyway. The Caucasian guy knocked the Indian guy out on his ass on the ground, and he fucked off. So we called the ambulance. The ambulance shows up. It's like half a dozen cop cars. They put a neck brace on this Indian guy, put him in an ambulance. Now I go inside to get another beer, as you do. And I go up there, and the bartender said, "David, this guy," and she's giving him a shot and a beer. She said, "This guy has got a credit card and it's no good." I went, "Then why the fuck are you giving him drinks?" So I take him out of his hands and I fucking put it over there. I said, "How much is his tab?" Said, "So it's nearly $50. I went, "Why are you still giving this guy?" I went, "Wait, you fucker, give me $50. He went, "Fuck you." I went, "Yeah, that wasn't an option." You know what I mean? You don't make enough money for that. And I said, "Give me the $50. And he went, "Fuck you." So I'm drunk. Right? So I pick up one of the big stools I have in the pub and go hit him with it. And I'm so fucking drunk, I dropped the stall. and I'm oh, fuck. And the stall's behind me. Now he's legging it out the pub. So I chase him, and I got half a dozen cop cars sitting outside. I went, arrest him. He's fraud. And I told him, he said, oh, calm down. So he calmed him down. They handcuffed him. And I said, no, he ran a tab $50. He knows he has additional money. That's a felony. I want him in jail. And he said, you know you did it. He said, well, yeah, you know. He said, do you have $50 on? He said, no. He said, are you with someone that can help you out or you're going to jail? He went, and he looked over me, what? Yeah, my buddy's the one in the ambulance. So the cop, I swear, you can't make this shit up. The cop goes into the ambulance, said, listen, do you know this guy? And he went, yeah. He said, and he's laying down like this with a fucking neck brace on in the ambulance. He said, unless you come up with $50, he's going to jail. And he went, my wallet's in my back pocket. The cop goes in his back pocket, gets the fucking wallet, goes into the pub, gets his credit card out, said, how much is the tab? And it was $40-something. So I went, don't forget the 20% tip for the waitress. It went, absolutely. So he put a 20% tip, he signed it, he put his badge number on, put it back into his pocket, and the ambulance drove away, and he let the guy go.
I love
You're right, man.
like
You
that.
can't make that shit up.
You can't.
Like,
That's a Hollywood moment right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. One thing we have to definitely talk about is how do you go
How many
about...
beers I've had in 20
No,
minutes?
No.
I don't care about that.
Okay,
how do you go about even getting on Bar Rescue?
Okay. Actually,
I had to bring that up.
When they did the light rail, it completely fucked me. It cost me $225,000 of my own money to stay in business because the city didn't help us. It was like downtown Baghdad.
Is it because it was just a construction zone?
Yeah, you couldn't get to my
in
pub.
and out? Wow.
You couldn't get to my pub. All right. So what I did after about 3 months, I started going around to all the local business to see where my customers were. Because we were doing 120 lunches and now we're doing 12. You know what I'm saying? So I went into the Hidden House around the corner from here. And I went in there and I saw 3 tables of customers of mine. I went, oh, you wankers, what the fuck you doing here? You're trying to tell me the food's better here than my place? And the owner was there, and I looked at him, he went, no, your food's better. Right? And I've known him for years. So he said, well, it's a pain in the ass to get to your place. I went, it literally took me 60 seconds to come here. And they said, well, no, when this is all done, we'll come back. I went, you know what? Fuck you. I said, when this is all done, I don't want you back in my fucking pub. And I went back to the pub. The next day, 2 of the guys walked in. They went, you're right. It just took us like 2 minutes to get here. I went, where am I going tomorrow?
You had to get him back?
Yeah. But no, I didn't because I wouldn't want anyone poaching on my house. But literally, I had to pay the mortgage and the salary for 2 years and my own back pocket because the city couldn't. And what made it worse, because we had a restaurant license and you have to do 40% sales of food. And my food sales went down about 20%. So the city said, you got 30 days to get a 6 license, which is $100,000, or you're out of business.
Jesus.
So after 9 years, I had to get $100,000 to buy a 6 license or I was done. So coming back to Bar Rescue, I was in trouble. I was losing so much money. I called them up. And then they showed up, they said yes. And they showed up and it was a fucking shit show. If it's a shame you wasn't there. The day it aired, I did an airing at the pub. And everyone came. I had a couple of hundred people there, and I'd freeze it. So now let me tell you what really happened here.
Well, can you do that for me? Because I saw the episode when it did air, just because going to the George and Dragon and finding out it was one of the show that I watched, I was like, this is fucking badass. And
well, at the beginning, you noticed like I was burping and making a dick of myself.
Yes.
I told all my staff, I want you to fuck with me. I want you to blame me for everything. I do not want everyone just talk shit about me because I wanted them to pick on me and not my staff. And that was the whole plan from the beginning. So I knew they were sitting outside. So I'm burping, cock to get beer. Where's the nurse at? And I'm just acting like a complete dick. Anyway, they're sitting in the van waiting. I'm going, fuck me. What have I got to do to get these guys to come in? So what
this is when they're watching the footage.
Yeah,
right?
they're
they
watching. He sits in the van. Oh, look at the state of him now.
They just talk shit.
Yeah,
yeah.
So my buddies, Keith and the Heroes, and they were sitting outside. We could have any music playing because it would fuck with the mics. Mm-hmm. So we were all outside singing ABBA songs, knowing me, knowing you. Anyway, so and TV said, "That's it, fuck it, I'm going in." So he walked in. Keith goes, "Hey, nice hair plugs." So it didn't go down well
That's
from the fucking
that's
beginning.
ballsy.
Oh, yeah.
He definitely has air plugs.
Oh my, oh yeah, fuck yeah. So I walked in and he started talking shit. We went into the restaurant and he did his normal, this is the most disgusting I went, fuck you. I said, I've seen every one of your episodes. Did you see any mice, rats running around? No, you fucking didn't. Anyways, they had an Irish chef there. And he said something, and I went, hey, back the fuck up, Patty. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Now, if you saw my face was red, and then red. I just showed my girlfriend it the other day, and she went, ooh, I don't want to get you pissed off. I was fucking wound up. And then he talked shit about my mother, and that was when I lost it.
Yeah.
And then he said on there, he's wasting he's gambling his mother's legacy on the poker. There's no money. It's free poker.
Yeah.
There was no gambling.
I noticed that when they were trying to flip that narrative on the show, but going to the George and Greg, I knew that it was free, so I was like, "That's interesting."
He didn't know that.
I'm into the film world too, so I know how they try to.
They try to make you as bad as you can.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So there was a scene when they, if you've ever worked in the bar industry or anyone as listeners, if you let 80 people in at the same time, it will take you half an hour to 40 minutes to serve everybody. It's especially with the cocktails they made for me.
That's the test that they do, right?
Where they set you up for disaster.
No
it's
shit,
impossible.
huh?
It's impossible.
I didn't even think of that.
It's impossible. You think about it. If 80 of us went into the pub right now, right? Even with 2 bartenders and 2 servers, it's going to take you at least half an hour to get your drink. Even if it takes 30 seconds to make a drink, 80 people, that's 40 minutes. And with the cocktails they gave us, there was 5 topics. There was 5. There was an ounce, ounce and a quarter, ounce and a half, ounce 3/4, and 2 ounces. And if you didn't get it exactly right, they threw it away. So they made it so disaster.
They make it very stressful too for the workers.
100%.
Like I felt really bad for the waitress for Kat. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other girl was a second day of bartending, and she's been with me now for 6 years. She hasn't gone nowhere. They tried to get me to fire Kat live on air. And she said, if you don't fire her, I'm walking. Now, you didn't see this on air because they didn't want it to even look like a dickhead. And he said, if you don't fire her, I'm walking. I said, can you read? He said, of course I can fucking read. I said, what does that say? He said, exit. I said, get your fucking fat ass out of here.
Hell fucking yeah.
And he said, so you would rather me not save your bar than fire her? I said, I've known her 3 years. I like her. I've known you 1 day. You're a dick.
That's really badass, man.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, and he said something. I went, you know what? Fuck you, Taffa. And I walked out. Now, you know the scene where he kicked the white door? He went out. When I said fucking and went out the back.
Yeah.
But what happened? That door locks. So he went to kick the door. The fucking door wasn't open. So they went, cut. Someone had to go back round and open the fucking doors so we could kick it in again
He had
properly.
to do another take?
Another take. Because he fucking couldn't. The door wasn't open, right? So I'm outside and I'm fucking fuming. I got 5 cameramen out, the lights, like it was 12 o'clock in the afternoon. He comes out and he's screaming and shouting. And I went, did you just fucking spit on me? Do it again. I'll knock you the fuck out. And the cameramen are doing this. They can't look at me. They got the camera because they're laughing their fucking ass off, right?
They can't stand him either, I bet.
No, they
probably hate him too. Yeah.
They all know he's a dick.
Yeah.
So anyway, they got the cameras going. And then I said, you want to talk to me like a human being? And he's still screaming. I went, all right. And I'm whistling. Cameramen are laughing their ass off. He's still swimming. And I said, you ready? And he still wouldn't. He's still screaming. I went, I'm whistling again. So he said, all right, are you ready? I went, are you ready? He went, yeah. I went, fuck you. And I walked in the pub. He went, really? After all that, I went, fuck off. I go in the office. The cameraman follows me. And I went, you might not want to be here for about 10 minutes. He went, okay. And he backed the fuck up. And I'm sitting there. But yeah, he wanted me to fire my bartender. I wouldn't do it. Then the one time that really pissed me off. And what's funny, they didn't show it on the original, but they showed it back to the bar. And my daughter fucking did
I don't think I saw that one. They did a one where they came back.
They didn't actually come. They showed, we're going back to the bar, and then they showed a different takes of what happened.
Oh,
there was a scene where I didn't remember that I was mic'd up.
Worst thing you can do.
Fuck yeah. So I found out we're only opening for 45 minutes. So I went into the restaurant on Facebook and I went, hey guys, don't bother coming down tonight. We're only open for fucking 45 minutes. Click, send. 2 minutes later, Taffa's running in. Meeting. And everyone there said, did you just tell your friends not to come down? I went, hindsight, that probably wasn't a good idea. So I was like, just calm down. You're right. I'm wrong. He said, I'm right, sir. I went, sir? Said, did my fucking father just walk in here? No, he didn't. You know why? Because he died last year. Fuck you. Oh. And I walked away. The producer said, dude, you got to go back. I went, if he mentions my dad, I'm knocking him the fuck out. He went, wait there. And he goes, John, don't mention his dad anymore. He said, I know. So he didn't mention my dad anymore. But then after the stress test, on the Thursday, it was all hugs and cuddles and all nicest guy on the planet because he's already got his drama.
Yeah, he's got his scenes that he can
make whatever he wants.
Whatever he wants out of it.
But what's the time frame of all of this?
They came in Tuesday night.
Okay.
The stress test was Wednesday.
Okay.
And we did the interviews on Thursday, what we're going to do, what we're not going to do. And they had Thursday night, all day Friday, and Saturday day to do all the decoration.
And then when was the reveal?
Saturday night.
Saturday night. And
I gave him my word I wouldn't go anywhere near the pub to see whether he changed the name of the pub, because that was a big thing.
I know. So if you would have turned around and it was different.
I already told him what I was going to do. I said that on air. We said, what would you do if I changed the name? I said, I got a sledgehammer in the back of my car. And he said, no, you don't. And one of the producers, yeah, he fucking does. I've seen it. I said, if you change the name of the pub, the day you leave, I will smash the fuck out of your sign, and the George and Dragon sign will be up there the next day. Back to George and Dragon. And what he did, he said, I did some, we had Taco Gill, that's when he said that. We went down to meet there, and then they picked us up from there, and I fucking slamming drink. In fact, the bartender who served me drinks was in the pub Saturday night and introduced himself. So I'm the one that served you drinks that night. It's a small world, right? So anyway, I'm probably 6 or 7 drinks now, because we were out there for 2.5 hours. He said 20 minutes. They blindfolded us in a van, drove us up to across the street, and literally we couldn't see. And we arm on each shoulder as we walked outside of the van to about 100 yards opposite the pub. And then we had our back to the pub, took the hood off, and we still couldn't see. And I didn't realize there was 200 people sitting outside the pub waiting with English flags and shit like that.
Hell yeah.
In fact, my buddy Nick, who lives here in this area, who's a stand-up comic I told you about, he got interviewed on the show.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
He's the one that said about it's a great pub and stuff.
The one that lives here?
Yeah, he lives here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I still haven't paid you for that comment, Nick, but I'll do it later. Anyway, so I still at that time had no idea they hadn't changed the name. And he said, well, we did some research, and we found out you kind of have like a cult following in the valley, but we understand you've gone through a bit of tough times. He said, so turn around. And we turned around and they didn't change it. I got pretty emotional when I realized, I got pretty emotional they didn't do it. But what he promised me he was going to do was, I had some pictures of my mum. He said, send me some pictures of your mum. I'm going to get a big frame photograph of your mum in a picture in the restaurant. So when you walk in, you look to the right, and I'm going to have a frame picture of your mum with a light on so everyone can see it. I went, that's awesome. Now, if you ever watch it again, when I walk in the door, the first thing I do is look to the right, and he didn't fucking do it.
Oh, my God.
I was pissed he didn't do it. What he did say, there was another one in there that my friends did when my mum passed, and they made this for me. They made it sound like...
I thought I saw one before, but that's
they didn't do it.
Oh,
my customers did that for me when my mum passed. And what he did was he put it up against the... I had it in the bar. He put it up against the wall with a light. He had a light going on, but he didn't do it.
Yeah, he didn't make a new frame or anything, new pictures.
My customers made that for me when my mum passed. So
I thought it was cool, the family crest in the logo.
Oh yeah, no, but that was that was on the wall. They didn't do that. I had that family crest there.
Well, I mean, they put it on the window. For
and I love that. There's so many things he did that I love. The way that he taught us to do fish and chips, honestly, way better than we were doing it. And our fish and chips is much better today than what it was at that time. But the rest of the stuff he gave me was ridiculous. I mean, he took away all the kiddies' meals. He took away my Sunday meals. He took away a lot of stuff. But to be honest with you, the very next day, my business went up by 100%.
That's
awesome.
what I was going to ask. That's great.
100% the next day. So, I mean, I much as a dickhead, and they spent $1 million an episode to make that show.
Holy shit.
$1 million it cost them to do one episode. But they've hired the people for the whole week. And then they got to hire local people. And then they got to pay the channel, whatever. It cost them $1 million an episode. But and they repeat mine all the time.
It's got to be a popular episode.
Yeah, it's probably one of the better ones.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely got into it. We definitely got it. Oh, it's the best part. So I know the time's getting close.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good.
Perfect.
When it was all over with, the cameras are gone. Saturday night, the mics are gone. Camera was gone. And he takes me underneath the picture of my mum, and he gives me a hug. He did a nice job. Give him his due. Well, not him. His staff did a good job.
Yeah.
He said, David, I got 3 things I want to tell you. Number 1, you are the most passionate bar owner I've ever fucking met. And I've been doing this for 25 years. He said, number 2, he said, you're right. Kat is a great bartender. I said, then go fucking tell her.
Hell yeah.
He said, well, the show's over. So I don't give a fuck. I was right. You were fucking wrong. Go apologize and tell her she's a good bartender.
Good.
Number 3, I've never been more verbally abused by a bar owner than I was you. I said, I know the feeling. He went, what do you mean? I said, I've never been more verbally abused by a man in my pub. I did knock the fuck out.
Yeah.
And he went, well, have a good day. And he fucked off.
The whole time he was arguing and fighting, he knew it was good TV.
Of course he did. Yeah. Absolutely. But I tell you what, I got to give them, they could have made me out to be a bigger dick than what they did, because I did a lot of stupid shit that they didn't air. I really did.
Was there any point where you were like, "What? Why did I get myself into this?" Like while you were fighting
when he was talking shit about my dad, and said something right from the beginning when he said something in the kitchen about my mum, you're fucking your mother. I went, I know. My face was fucking redder than my shirt I'm wearing right now. At that time, I signed an agreement stating if I laid a finger on him, they're going to prosecute to the fullest extent of the law.
Oh wow.
And what I didn't know,
do they have security like
big fuckers?
Really?
There was 2 of them in the kitchen. Oh, big fuckers, big boys. I'm 6'2", at that time 250. These guys outweighed me by a ton. So I didn't know this, but when me and the Paddy were getting into it, right? They grabbed my chef, and he's behind me. I didn't give a fuck about anyone. I'm just
that skinny
here.
dude.
Yeah, Tim.
Yeah.
They grabbed him and physically took him out of the kitchen, outside the business. Came back in and they were waiting for me to fucking, because my waitress said, David, they were there ready to fucking grab you. Because I got my fucking finger in his, I went, fuck you, Paddy, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And they were like, literally, we're going to fucking grab you. So, yeah, if I touched him, they said they were going to prosecute to the fullest extent of the law. But there was a couple of times I thought I was going to.
I bet you they're so used to that, having that have to do that constantly, because that's what that show is about. They're just poking at the bear constantly.
See what they do, they interview you for about a week beforehand, and they said there was one I don't even remember her, and if she's listening, she's got to laugh because it's fucking true. And it's not stereotyping when it's true. So anyway, they interviewed. They said, "Well, tell me some stories about the staff." I went, "I won't do that." They said, "Well, they've all talked shit about you." I went, "Oh, who the fuck do you want to know about?" So I said, "All right, so and so." And I said, "What about Casey?" I said, "Casey." I said, "Fuck, she's had more pricks than a second-hand dartboard." Right? They called me back 2 months later after the show's aired. I said, "So is everyone still there?" I said, "Everyone." "Oh, except Casey." She said, "What happened?" I said, "You can't make this shit up. She got pregnant and she's got a kid."
Oh, shit.
I fucking swear to God. Look, Casey, I love you to death. But it's true. She got pregnant and had a kid with a guy she met in the pub.
That's cool. But everyone else is still there?
Literally everyone. Now, Tim, because of the layoffs, because of COVID, Tim and his girlfriend who worked for me on and off for 9 years, neither one of those came back because they're making too much money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're going to get paid till the end of July, for God's sake.
Yeah, you can't really blame them at that point.
You know how many bars and restaurants cannot hire good people right now because they'd sit back and say, if you're a mediocre bartender in a mediocre bar where you're making $50, $100 a day during the day, why would you go back to work when you're getting $700 a week for doing nothing?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Why would you?
Yeah, you're 100% right. And that's going to happen with a lot of businesses. Not just the restaurant and the lower people that I shouldn't have said lower, but like the lower income jobs. Mm-hmm. Those jobs, until they fix that issue, you're 100% right.
I mean, why would you, if you're making minimum wage $12 an hour, so you're times 40, so you're making $500 a week minus the taxes, so you're about $370, $380 a week.
Working your ass off.
Working your ass off for 40 hours a week. Or sitting at home and getting a fucking check every week.
Netflixing and chilling.
Hello. Yeah. Do you know what would happen? That fucking... And I know I watched 1.5 episodes. My girlfriend watched the whole thing. You know how many people would never have watched Tiger King if we hadn't been fucking on lockdown?
You know what, though? That came out at a good time, I think, just for like the country needing just a good laugh.
Some humor.
And when you say, you can't make this shit up, you can't make that.
You can't.
You didn't watch all of it?
It annoyed me. I couldn't watch it anymore.
It's amazing.
I'm probably the only one I know that I watched an episode and I watched it and I went, am I really fucking watching this? And I went around our house. And then we watched another half. I went, sweet, I just can't fucking watch this anymore. and then her and her daughter watched the whole thing. I can't. It's
It's
too
definitely
embarrassing.
a guilty
That's
pleasure.
my biggest
That's
problem.
how he is. Yeah, he gets.
I got too embarrassed.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm like,
That's exactly
is this
how
really
he
happening? I can't do it. Horrible.
And real quick to talk about, you were talking about how he made the comment about your mom. I just told a story on the last episode about I was flying in the air and a passenger in front of me. We got into it a little bit, and he made a comment and called my mom a bitch. And they landed the plane because I got into a fight with the guy.
Yeah.
So I feel your pain.
Oh, so you're banned from? Did you get a letter from the FAA?
It was
Luckily before 9/11, right?
before 9/11, and I won't tell the whole story, but the guy was such a bastard to everybody on the plane that we didn't know about, that when they landed the plane and said that they were going to arrest me, they stopped the plane, we waited, and they started to take off. And as they were taking off, I'm like, what the hell is going on? My mom's hysterical.
Oh, your mom was there?
She was there.
I'd have killed him.
Yeah, my mom,
Yeah.
my dad,
I'd
my
be doing
brother,
time
all
right
of them.
now.
Yeah, my dad, because they held us all. My dad, and he was still talking to my mom. My dad's like, if you don't shut up, I'm not only is he gonna beat your ass, I'm gonna join in, and that's kind of when it ended. But when they landed the plane, they arrested him and came back and gave us 4 free flight vouchers.
Yeah, so he made it
Winner.
out. Yeah.
No, I've literally got a letter from the FAA banned. We've been open about 6 months, and I met this bird at the pub, and I said, "What are you doing tomorrow?" She said, "Nothing." I went, "Fuck it, want to go to Vegas?" She went, "Okay." So back in '95, I used to have a hang-up bag. Do you know what a hang-up bag? It's where it's like a bag where you can fold it in half and you can carry it on the plane.
Mhm.
Anyway, so we put the stuff in there. And we put it under the conveyor belt, and they looked through it, and she had a little pocketbook, tiny little thing, and that went under there, right? Obviously nothing in there, and we didn't check anything on the plane. Anyway, so this big old lesbian chick walks up, let me look at that. I went, you just saw there's nothing there. It's a tiny little thing. Piss off. She went, fucking get over. I went, what? I said, if she wasn't such a cute thing, you wouldn't have fucking bothered, would you? Right? So we go over there, and she opens it up, and I turned around and said, hey, honey, you did leave the hand grenade at home, right?
Oh shit. Yeah.
That wasn't a fucking good idea, was it?
Yeah.
So next thing you know, I got half a dozen fucking German shepherds sniffing my ass. I got cops, security. Anyway, so they pulled me aside and, where do you work? What do you do? And I said, well, I work at the George and Dragon. Who's the owner? My mum. Anyway, so they called my mum, said, you know David Wimberley? She said, who the fuck is this? That's just my mum. And then, so I got a letter from there saying, this is your first and only warning. If this ever happens again, you'll never be able to fly in the United States.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah,
So
you got lucky.
So
I got
every
very
time
lucky.
you go to the airport, you probably have to go through the check because you're on a list.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I shut my mouth
Yeah.
while walking around. But they
You're probably on a list too.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And
I
I'm
haven't-
on I've been arrested at an airport too and charged with a felony in Houston. I've told the story on here a million times, but I think I'm on a list because the last time I flew, I was in. They wanted to pull me aside. I'm like, I think there's a little check mark by my name because I was arrested before, So
Yep.
you'll probably get that in September.
But I touch wood. I've never had a problem since. I mean, I got a warning. So and I've never done. But they told me they actually hire people in all the restaurants and the bars and all the airports. All they do is sit and listen to people, and try and listen to any terrorists and talking shit.
Wow.
And they arrest them. And they said they hire people literally in airports to listen to everybody to see what's going on.
Well, you said you're going back in September.
10th, yeah. I'm actually gonna be flying 9/11. Oh, good timing.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
right.
Mhm.
Well, hopefully, let's. Where's knock on wood again?
Yeah.
Oh, we got some-
Yeah. After you do that, we'd love to have you back if you
Yeah,
have
that'd
any
be cool.
time.
Yeah, I would love to hear about that trip, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going for 3 weeks with my mate, and we're going to Spain for 5 days, and then my girlfriend's going to fly out for 8 days. She's never been to England, so we're going to do the London and my hometown and have a good time and
Awesome.
show what pubs are like at home compared to pubs here. And the actual George and Dragon in my high street is no longer there, but just see the atmosphere of the difference, what it's like in a bar than rather than a pub. In fact, the largest pub in the whole of Europe is in my hometown. It's called the Wetherspoons. It's a major chain. 1,600 people get in this pub.
Oh shit!
They take 50 grand a night.
Wow.
50 grand, and that's pounds, so it's like $65,000 a night. It is ridiculous. I think they have 40 something people work there every day.
Well, let's hope that when you go there, everything is.
Well, they're opening them up in 2 weeks. I think July 1st is when they're opening up all the pubs full time. So hopefully, because if they're not, if the pubs are not open, I'm not bothering going back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no shit.
What's the point?
And what's the worst part? Another bad part about that is God forbid they stay closed too long and they can't recover.
Yeah,
and
no
there's
shit, too,
there's
yeah.
history there that
So many
That's even
small
sadder
pubs
over there.
Yeah, so many small pubs in England, family-owned pubs, will not open back up again.
That
They just
sucks.
won't. Same here. If I hadn't had money put away, I've always been that kind of person. My brother has champagne taste on a Budweiser salary. I have Budweiser taste on a champagne salary. So I've always put money aside. If I hadn't have done, we wouldn't have lasted this. I wouldn't have lasted the light rail. I'm never going to get that money back, but I've always put money aside so that we can still be open. Did you know 89 people have met their spouse at the pub?
oh, that's awesome.
89 people have met their husband or wife at
I
the
bet
pub.
you
That's got to be
way more.
amazing.
And only
Yeah,
9.
probably people you don't even know about.
Way
Yeah,
more.
that's just I know of.
Yeah.
But only
Yeah.
9 divorces. That's better than
That's
the
even
average.
That's
that's
good
even
odds.
That's
better.
awesome. And what caused me 3 of those divorces were managers who married a bartender.
Yeah.
I have two quick
Wow.
questions before we wrap up.
Sure.
Ultimately, did the light rail help the George and Dragon, or is it just still shitting to make it worse? Because
It didn't do any favors. Every now and again in the summer, we get a pub crawl.
oh yeah, I know what you're talking
And
about.
they come in for an hour. They all spend $10 and they fuck off. So that's it. I mean, if say the 3 of us worked down, say McDowell Central, and you got to spend $3 to get on the light rail, do you think the 3 of us are going to spend fucking $10 to go to the George and Dragon, have lunch, and get back on the light rail? You're not going to do it. So nobody gets on it. You know how many people get on that light rail and don't pay? It's ridiculous. I got a friend of mine that lives on Camelback and 19th Avenue, and he comes to the pub, has never paid for a ticket, ever.
I used to ride the right rail like a motherfucker,
Yeah.
and sometimes you just can't. You just
It
you
gets
just do
there and
it.
you haven't got a
just go on
ticket.
there for free.
Yeah.
Because they only ask you if they go on there, you know.
Yeah,
have a
if you
ticket.
go past, I think it's past McDowell, is when someone gets on the train and they go through downtown to Tempe. They have someone down there, but up here they
And when
don't-
you see
they
them go
don't.
on, you just get off on the next one.
Yeah.
It's not that big
Yeah,
of a deal.
yeah, you see it, they go, oh, fucking.
yeah, yeah.
Jump back on.
Yeah, jump back on. Yeah.
So yeah, no, the light they didn't do me any favors. What was the other one?
Oh, does the original George and Dragon? Did they know that you opened a George and Dragon here in Phoenix? Or like, did you have any?
You can't own a
relationship with
name
them?
in England. You can't own the name.
I didn't mean it like that, but I just
No,
meant
what I'm
like,
saying, there's not a company that says, all right, all the George and Dragons belong to this brewery.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
It's
yeah.
not. You can name your name, anything.
No, I mean, where like they flattered or anything.
yeah, that's what I
like-
meant. Like,
yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't mean like a.
Oh
like
yeah,
a-
yeah. I've got a friend of mine that used to manage it that has another place called the Elephant and Castle, and I told him, I said, "You remember your old pub, George and Dragon? I named my pub after that."
Yeah, that's cool.
And so they got a kick out of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't. I actually own the name George and Dragon. I licensed it in DC, and I think it cost me $2,500. So if another English guy comes over here and open up a pub, he cannot call it the George and Dragon because I own the name.
Yeah.
Now there's a George and Dragon in Seattle. They opened up a year after I did, and no, I think no, before I did, in fact. And so if I moved to Seattle, I could open up name. I could open up pub George and Dragon. He'd have to change his name because I own the name nationwide.
Yeah.
A bunch of their staff came into my pub, and their T-shirt was like a maroon shirt with a little English flag, George and Dragon. And I've used to see my T-shirts; they're pretty cool and they're
Yeah,
different
yeah.
colors and
Yeah.
stuff. So anyway, they came in and saw them, and they bought a bunch of shirts. Went back to Seattle. The owner of the pub calls me up, said, "Hey, David, right?" And when he said, "My staff were there. I own the George and Dragon." He said, "Yeah, they bought a bunch of my shirts." He said, "Do you mind if I copy the design?" Well, fuck you, get your own design.
shit.
I didn't have the heart to tell him I copied it. I had it when I first moved to Phoenix. I had a couple of suitcases of clothes, all I had. Anyway, and I'm open up. I went, well, that's clean. Oh, fuck me, that's dirty. Anyway, so I found a T-shirt, but the front of it was the design, the old George and Dragon sign, and it said British by birth, and on the bottom, English by the grace of God. And that's what the T-shirt said. I went, well, fuck me, that's going to piss off the paddies. So I said, so I got to get rid of that, and then I put George and Dragon English pub, restaurant and pub on it.
Oh, yeah.
So I copied it myself. I just didn't want to tell him that.
It's his most sincerest form of flattery, right?
Absolutely.
That's cool.
Real quick, I want to give some shout outs before we end. A lot of people are going to love watching this show, and there's some people that I want to say what's up to that always, when I think of the George and Dragon, there's some people that we think of. of course, big shout out to Jay Maynard, everybody in Ghost Life who used to all go down there. There's a lot of friends that have been to the George and Dragon, and you're welcome. Definitely check out Mellow by Design CBD. Check out Nice Dream CBD, and check out Hempful Farms, and check out Bud's Glass Joint. Those are 3 businesses that we want to try and help out if we can. And of course, definitely go to the George and Dragon, open now.
Absolutely. Normal. I don't know right now with the governor. He just announced right now that it's an 8 o'clock curfew.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, bollocks. Come to the pub. I promise you, I'll be open.
There we
Hell
go.
Yeah. Right on. Check out the George and Dragon in Midtown Phoenix. Do you have any social media you want to plug?
Yeah,
or promote or anything,
we're on Twitter, Facebook. I'm not, because I just got banned for 30 days, so I can't even put this on Facebook.
I'll add links and stuff
there you
so
go.
people can find
But
it.
yeah, I on my personal page, I post inappropriate shit. A lot of my friends are married, and their wives won't let them post anything on their page.
Yeah.
So they send them to me, and I go, I don't give a fuck, and I post it. Yeah, they keep kicking me off. This one's a 30-day. The next one's life.
Yeah.
So,
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Do you have like a certain amount of check marks before it's life, or does it depend on the
this
post?
This is my warning.
This is your last warning?
This is my last warning.
Yeah,
You
he's
can just
going.
make a different account, right?
I just tried that. She just tried to do it for me.
We have a friend. I have a friend that
That's what I
gets
was gonna
banned
say.
so much that he has a second account, and everyone just knows that. Like,
Yeah.
that's like
Mine
he's
will be
banned.
ready. Mine should be ready tomorrow. We're going to get it done tonight.
yeah.
So I'll be back on there.
Right on. Well, we really appreciate you taking the time.
I had a good time,
This
guys.
is
Thanks.
fucking awesome.
Thanks for the beers.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
And that is a wrap on episode 84 of the Bogcast.
Bang.